right?
Nick?
You forgot the snacks again.
So you can't afford things that your friends can. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I just had to cancel some plans because I couldn't keep up.
Do me a favor, take out your phone and download an app called Rocket Money. We're going to see how much you're spending.
Oh, it's showing I spent $578 on Ubers last week.
Rocket Money has a clear dashboard that shows you all your income and expenses, helping you stay in control of your goals.
Oh, it also shows you a list of your subscriptions and how much you're paying all in one place.
If you see a subscription you no longer want, you can cancel it right from the app.
Is this the best budgeting app?
Yes, and it's called Rocket Money.
Bamboo HR is easy for everyone.
What about a hospital? That means employee data, benefits, and payroll all in the same place. Yes, it all works together with surgical precision.
Easy starts at bamboohr.com.
Here we go, it's Wednesday, it's hour 2. Joel Clanton, 5 minutes. You've got Ohio State, Penn State this weekend. It is the Herd live in Chicago. So, on Tuesdays I do Herd Hierarchy. One of the reasons I've had the Kansas City Chiefs #1 for a month in Herd Hierarchy is the best way I would explain how I view the Kansas City Chiefs is the same way I view the company Apple. I don't always love the stock price, but I trust the leadership and like the company. Don't always love the stock price. Not every product works. And I'm looking at Kansas City this morning. Their last time they won a Super Bowl, they averaged 22
They have
points a
chance
game.
to win Super Bowl.
This year they're averaging 26. And Apple or the Chiefs' ability to fix problems quickly. Like their run game early this year was awful. Oh, I watched it last week. Pretty good. Their O-line lost Joe Tooney. Was not good early. It's ranked 4th by PFF today. Their wide receiver group 6 weeks ago, kind of a mess. Now I think it's the deepest in the sport. I've said this about the Rams and McVay. They just fix stuff fast. The Kansas City Chiefs, I don't always love the stock price or the products. I trust the management. I trust the company. Chicago Bears, Ben Johnson. Last year, Bears were dead last in offense. Right now, they're top 12. And we still think they're inconsistent at quarterback. So I know they have the right coach. So everybody has dips. It could be Meta, it could be Microsoft, it could be the Kansas City Chiefs. Say this for Sean Payton. Rebuilt him. Sean Payton rebuilt the Rams a couple years ago. Sean Payton rebuilt with the dead cap money of Russell Wilson. They're still paying. Rebuilt him in a year. Still paying dead cap money. Kyle Shanahan, to his credit, using a backup quarterback. 8 high-end starters gone. Still viable. Still in the playoff picture.
So that's why they call it snap beans or snapping green beans because you snap.
I can always tell when a guy doesn't have real confidence.
It's nice
I
if
mean,
we
you go
don't
to the
have
gym, have a big chest, you're
music.
gonna have a big truck. But when a guy is rigid and doesn't like change, he doesn't trust himself. Forget what he's projecting out. He doesn't trust himself.
This is like
Andy Reid
ASMR.
trusts himself. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Sean Payton. They rebuild all the time. They move off stuff all the time and it's not working. That's the ultimate confidence. It's just, they just had to get that. They had to get
Huh?
Rasheed Rice back.
We have 12 people.
I mean, they still don't have the
Already?
O-line's ranked 4th. If you really
19
do
points.
trust yourself, you're okay to rebuild stuff. Because you know you may miss, but you're more likely to hit.
We're sure that this
It's
is
like when Sean Payton was calling out
What?
Russell Wilson. He didn't have Bo Nix yet, but he knew there was a big quarterback draft coming up, and he knew he was going to get one of those quarterbacks, and he got the one he liked, and would turn it around, and he did. He made the playoffs in a division with Herbert and Mahomes. And with that, Joel Klatt, the voice of college football, is now joining us. He's got Penn State and Ohio State this weekend. So, you know, these universities, they always squawk about they're running out of money. Boy, the NIL, how are we going to make the NIL work? And then they buy out James Franklin and Brian Kelly at LSU. So, they got plenty of money. we were talking about this. So Florida's got an opening, LSU's got an opening, Penn State's got an opening. Now, I think a lot of it, Brian Kelly always felt Midwest to me, not Southern. I didn't love the fit, but Urban Meyer went down and won natties at Florida, and he's more Midwest. If you said
Yeah,
there
before
was the
Panama.
hottest coach in the country, LSU, Florida, Penn State, is there a best job of those three?
Yeah, I think LSU is, and Colin, I would go a step further and say, I think LSU is a top 3 job in the entire sport. I think only Texas and maybe Ohio State are better than LSU. I think LSU is a better job than Bama. I think it's arguable between LSU and Georgia. They've got incredible resources. The recruiting pipeline is right there. You're in the middle of everything in terms of recruiting. They have tradition. Guys can win national championship there, so it comes down to fit. I mean, why does Ed Ogeron fit at LSU and not Brian Kelly? I think it's what you were just talking about being rigid. You know, Ed Ogeron, went down there and he was flexible and did some things that maybe he was uncomfortable with, and all of a sudden they turned into the best offense in the history of college football in 2019 with Joe Burrow. And Brian Kelly, I mean, it was the moment he stepped onto that basketball court and gave the fake Southern accent. I couldn't unsee that or unhear that. So every time I saw him in an LSU shirt or hat, I couldn't unhear the fake accent. It was never a good fit, and the authenticity was never really there at LSU. And now it's starting to come out. A lot of the former players are chirping on social media, and you're trying to decipher what that is and peek under the hood a little bit. But fit is very important. Back to your question about like best jobs, I do think that LSU is the best one of this cycle. And Colin, I would say that these 3 with Florida and Penn State, I think are 3 of the top 10 jobs in all of college football.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, maybe I'm just being recency bias here, I can't remember a time when we had this level of openings, in particular in October. That's never happened. We can talk about the timing of these firings as well. But these are massive jobs that are all looking for like the A-list guy.
Mom,
and
this
I would
one right
actually
here,
make an
you
argument
can't even
that
see
the
me.
talent pool is more thin than it's ever been. This
Let's
is
see
going to
later.
produce
That's
a
what
bit
the
of an
ano
arms
nga.
race.
You want me
Lane
to
Kiffin
up?
likely
No.
will end up being the highest paid coach in
You
college
almost-
football because of this.
You're
Dan Lanning will likely end up being a $15
I think I
million
need to
a year coach because of
No,
this.
it's fine.
Stay in their respective spots.
Because it'll be funny when this goes
Uh-oh.
down.
They can see.
I didn't even know there was a guy back there.
I think they're going to call Dan Lanning and they're going to offer him the moon. LSU has a lot of money. This is what people I don't think understand. It's a little bit more quiet than other places
We need
around
to
the
watch
country,
pa din.
but they've got those billionaires down there. Trust me, and they've
We
got
do.
a lot of
It's
resources.
going to
Money will not
freeze
be a reason
wrong in the
that they
bag,
lose
and
next
then
year.
it's
What
going
they
to
should
taste
be thinking
bad.
about
We
is what
just
we were
need
talking
to
about,
watch
which is
when
fit.
When we use
Who's
it.
the best fit for LSU? Because if you get the fit
And
right,
some
that's
I
the
will
basic
cut
win
na.
national
Na.
championship.
So 2 games
No.
this weekend are fascinating. If USC loses
Like
at
what I
Nebraska,
did to ano.
I know, but those turn panget because you did that. You don't like the taste of those. When I use them, I hate those ones.
You can eat this like whole.
Yeah, why not?
I saw some Sark rumors come out about the NFL. I had said this 2 months
I
ago.
ate a lot
I
of
think
this
he's the best candidate
yesterday.
out there from the college game is Sark, but I think Texas is arguably the best job, so I would stay in Austin. But let's just look ahead. And I know I always talk USC, but last time you were on, you said it's better now, and I said okay. The offense was good 4 years ago. The offense was smart and clever, and quarterback play was good. They were very good at home 4 years ago, and they can't win games on the road, and they're a much better program.
Yeah, that's so surface. That's so
Well,
surface.
maybe I'm surface. I'm in television. Maybe it's just the makeup in me.
Maybe.
If
Where you
we
will
lose
put
to
this
Nebraska,
downstairs
would you
freezer?
acknowledge
No,
it?
the
It's not
Full na ba
better than 4
downstairs?
years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
This is a great litmus
We
test.
need to
of-
go
of-
down to find
I
my
guess our
son.
positions on this.
Soda?
Kelsey.
You talk about like the offense being clever and creative. That's because they had to be, because they weren't balanced. Now they're balanced, and against the teams that they can retain that balance, they are very good. Now, was Illinois a good matchup for them? No. And Notre Dame, no. And that's why they need to continue to get better. I believe they're on the trajectory towards getting better in those areas to be better at the line of scrimmage. But what's different now is that they will and are committed to running the football. And they should be able to run it against Nebraska. Nebraska is ranked 15th in the Big Ten stopping the run. And if you allow Lincoln Riley and Jade Mayava to have a run game, they will pick you apart. This is why it's different now, and it's much more sustainable. The one worry would be, like, is their defense going to be able to stop the run of Nebraska? I think Nebraska's okay running the football. They'll certainly try to test the interior of that defensive line. But this has much more sustainability, and the trajectory for USC is a lot more positive now than it was even when they had Caleb Williams. Because with Caleb Williams, it was smoke and mirrors. Colin, it was all surface. It was lipstick. It was vanity. Now there's some substance there because of the balance that they play with on the offensive side. And if they retain that against Nebraska, they'll win this weekend. There's not a doubt in my mind.
You think we've done one box
yet?
yet?
Give the 6.5. Because I don't
No,
think Nebraska stops
I'm
the
not-
run.
not
There's
yet.
no
Not
way
yet.
that USC is going to score under 35 points if they're balanced. And if you're telling me Dylan Raiola is going to
Chicken can
score
eat banana.
30 or more points against
I
USC,
don't know if they will.
I just don't think that that's going to take place.
So I watched,
I think
last
this is
week,
green,
I watched
this is good for
Alabama
them.
and South Carolina play, and, though it was in a losing cause, I think
Yeah,
I
ask
draft the
Chat-
South Carolina
ChatGPT
quarterback
later.
first because I teach juice. I've always said this about quarterback play. When I watch a college guy, you gotta give me one wow trait. I gotta go, wow. Now, so, South Carolina, that
Wrong.
kid,
They're wrong again. They're wrong again.
Ty Simpson has no juice.
He's no juice. Watch his intermediate throws. Watch him control the game from the pocket. Colin.
He is just.
I need another.
Who wins Super Bowls?
I need another.
Guys that control the
Patrick
game
Mahomes.
from the pocket. Control the game now. You have to do those things first. See, this is, and I bring this up all the time. This is math. You gotta have Algebra 1 under your belt before you can go to Algebra 2 and then Calculus 2. You gotta
Need
make
another
the cake
pan.
first before you put frosting on it. You wanna go and you wanna put the wedding topper on it and get all the frivolous frosting on the cake, but you gotta understand you gotta make the cake first. And listen, Sellers is a terrific player, and he'll certainly be thought of highly in the NFL draft. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. I'm not saying that he's bad, but I'm just saying if you compare their games, the game that Ty Simpson plays directly correlates to the National Football League. He will go in and he will have success. He is a Bo Nix or a Joe Burrow style guy that can go in there and make those throws with anticipation and accuracy. I would also put another guy in there, Fernando Mendoza, is going to have a ton of success in the NFL because of what he does from a foundational standpoint. His accuracy, his anticipation, his intellect. Sellers is a wonderful player. But you take a look around the NFL at all these places that draft traits at quarterback versus drafting quarterbacks, and it never ends up well for them. They're turning over offensive coordinators, they're turning over head coaches, it never really works. Maybe that guy will succeed down the road, but to me, the first pick in the draft is going to become a discussion between Mendoza at Indiana and Ty Simpson at Alabama. Sellers is wonderful, but he doesn't control the game from the pocket like those two do. If you look at the last, ever since Tom Brady won his Super Bowl, you look at the quarterbacks that win the Super Bowl, look at their college careers. Look at the style that they play. Look at what they do, their experience. They have over 30 starts combined. I think the average number of starts for the guys that have won Super Bowls since the early 2000s is like 29 and a half is the average number of starts in college. So you're looking for an experienced guy who can go out there, control it from the pocket. So that's what I would say about that. I mean, look at the traits. You keep wanting to draft Caleb
There we
Williams,
go.
and then now you bag on Caleb
I can see
Williams,
myself.
And you're all over Ben Johnson.
But no, I like Drake May and Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. I like all of them. I know
All of those guys could control the game from the pocket.
I like Jaden Daniels' movement. I like Bo Nix's athletic ability. I actually like Drake May's athletic
But those
ability.
are pluses. Those are like that's the frosting. It's like great. Now you tell me you got cake, and now you can put some frosting on it. Now I'm in.
Let me ask you, if Ohio State, so Michigan wins the Natty, then Ohio State wins the Natty. If Ohio State and their defense is clearly the best in the country,
Yeah.
if Ohio State or Indiana wins the national championship, what does it say about the Big Ten SEC comp? What does it say?
I get this question a lot, and I think that it boils down to this. I think at the top end, the Big Ten has the best teams in college football. Indiana and Ohio State, kind of leading the track there. as far as depth goes, in the middle of the conference, you can make an argument that the SEC is better. Now, I do think that some of those teams get overvalued as compared to the top middle of the Big Ten. For instance, these 4 teams I feel like do not get the love that they should. Iowa, Washington, Michigan, and USC. Those teams are better than the AP would suggest. They're better than the narrative would suggest, and the other network would certainly suggest. But the middle of the SEC is very good and very deep, and it makes it incredibly difficult to go out there and win every single week. What I start getting frustrated with in this whole conversation is that you go in overtime if you're Texas against Kentucky and Mississippi State, and you're sitting there and it's like, hold on a second. You can't just tell me that every win in that conference, because it's on the road, is a quality win. And Texas all of a sudden retains their position, even moves up in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Iowa is playing great football. They were just tied with Indiana in the last 2 minutes of their game in Kinnick a few weeks ago, 13-13, and Iowa can't get ranked. You know, so that's where the perception maybe is a little off. Top end of the Big Ten, better. Middle of the SEC, better, deeper, and that's, both of those things can be true.
You know, it's interesting. Because of Phil Knight's money, I wouldn't leave Oregon for LSU, even though I think LSU's a better job. I wouldn't leave Ole Miss for Florida. There's way more pressure, and I think you can have a team that's almost as talent-rich as long as you have 1 or 2 NIL guys. I wouldn't leave. There's only about 4 programs I would never leave. Ohio State, I would never leave. I don't think there's a better job than Texas. If I got LSU rolling, I wouldn't leave. Same with Georgia.
Bama.
What do you do if you're Lane Kiffin? Because you could get Florida or LSU. What do you do if you're Lane Kiffin? He's still young. He's reinvented himself. Ole Miss is a very good job. It's not a great job.
No.
It's a very good job. I would stay because I think he's viewed as the architect of the next 10 years, and he's bounced around a lot. And I think for his personality and what he's done, it's a neat fit. Would you leave? Would you leave if you were Lane?
I mean, LSU is intriguing, right? I just think like LSU is a step above. I think that you have to overachieve at Ole Miss. You've got to do things that the program has never done to reach your ultimate goals and to win at the top end of college football. In a lot of respects, you know, the best years of Ole Miss football, at least in recent vintage, are what we're seeing right now. And does he want better than that? You know, and go to LSU, and we know that LSU can go and put together rosters year in and year out that compete at the top end, not only the SEC, but also of the country. I do think it comes down to resources, and like I said, I think that LSU has top 2 or 3 resources
There we go.
financially in college football. I know a couple of their boosters, they have deep pockets, and in this day and age, that's what you have to have. That's why Dan Lanning loves Oregon. That and a few other things. I think Dan Lanning and his family love Eugene. You know, Dan told me one time, he's like, you know what's kind of nice is I can go to dinner in Eugene. And you can't go to dinner. I mean, that's something I know that resonates, you know, Colin, with you. Is like, the quality of life in Eugene is very good. And it's not like he's not able to build a team that can go and perform at the top end of college football and maybe even win the national championship. Heck, they might win the national championship this year. Yeah, I mean, we don't even, you know, we need to see how that team continues to develop and play in this month of November, although their November is going to be pretty difficult for them. So I don't think Dan Lanning will leave, but I think Lane will. I think Lane is if I had to bet, Lane Kiffin is your next coach at LSU.
Wow. That's powerful. That would be an interesting watch, wouldn't it? It would be. Do you think, hey, let me throw this out there. I know it's just conjecture. I think Sark works in the NFL. I think he does.
Yeah, so you said, listen, obviously he's coached there and done it successfully when he was a coordinator at Atlanta.
Yeah, he was great.
Ryan Day would be another guy. Has NFL background. Remember, he was on a couple of Chip staffs at San Francisco and Philadelphia.
How about this argument? That Texas is a great job, but the best jobs in the world, Texas is arguably the best college job. But the best jobs in the world at football are NFL jobs when you have solid ownership and a star quarterback. Your assistants don't leave because NFL pays more and the pensions are great for coaches. So you can maintain a staff. You may lose McVay may lose an offensive guy once in a while, but you can maintain a lot of your staff. And if you've got a Bob Kraft, if you've got a Kroenke, or you've got solid ownership, Steve Buscemi, you're not going to have a lot of turnover. I mean, I can see Sark going and just saying, if like Harbaugh left for Herbert. That was a smart move. I can see Sark going if they blew out. Sean McDermott loses first round of the playoffs. I would leave Texas for Buffalo and Josh Allen. Right?
I mean, look, I understand that. It's certainly maybe more attractive, more comfortable. to
Oh,
your
that's
point.
fucking
It's not going to be a money
slow-mo
issue.
or time lapse.
I will say there's
The
two
other one
things,
is
and I
like-
understand I live in the college football space, but
I've
there's,
seen it
there's
jerky.
two things
Why?
specifically
No, I seen it jerking.
different at the college level
I went
that
like
are
that.
not an option at the NFL level.
This is a good time lapse.
Number one is that you can-
Well, it's going down, and you can see that. That's why that's a good time
Sure, so
lapse.
you can
I didn't realize that was
influence
time
it. If that's
lapse.
something that drives you and you're passionate about, then college is the place for you. I think that you would agree with that.
Yeah.
The next thing is that in college, you are the quarterback. Bill Belichick is revered and considered one of the great coaches in the history of the NFL, and yet, when we think about the Patriots and their run, who do we bring up first?
Tom Brady.
Yeah, Brady.
Tom Brady. When you think of Nick Saban's run at Alabama, revered, greatest coach in the history of college football, who do you think of first when I say Alabama?
Nick Saban.
Saban.
Nick Saban. You see, your legend status is not really available in the NFL. I think they view that as more career things, even with Andy Reid. Andy Reid, when he finally retires, yes, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. They might even put a statue of him up outside of Arrowhead. What are people going to say, though? Well, he didn't win it without Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
You see, at college, you can be a legend. If Ryan Day wins multiple championships at Ohio State, for the rest of his life and beyond, into the ages, he will always go down with Woody Hayes as the only two guys that won multiple championships at Ohio State.
Well, think about this. Think about how many great players UCLA had. It's the John Wooden era.
That's right.
They
That's
had
exactly right.
Lou Alcindor and Bill Walton, and it's like maybe the two best college players ever. Look at Krzyzewski and Duke.
It's
Look
just,
at all the
that's
great
I was
players.
just going to say, Coach K.
Duke. Yeah,
And-
you're right.
And so it comes down to the two I's: influence over kids and immortality. Those are two things that you don't get at the NFL level. Now they might leave, but it would be for comfort. It would be for Josh Allen. That's more comfortable. That's more stable. I don't have to deal with all of this stuff. But if you want influence and you want immortality, you stay in college.
Yeah, I mean, I think UConn basketball. I think Jim Calhoun and Hurley.
There you go.
And they've had 60 NBA players, maybe. Yeah. Good stuff, Clatt. What a finish strong. I really appreciate it. I didn't like your quarterback tape, but everything else was pretty good.
I love it. I love it. Great to see you, my man. Have a good day.
All right, Bill Clatt's doing the Penn State Ohio State
You
game
can
this
work
weekend.
at
Well, that's a
factory
good point.
Fuck
You
no.
affect people's lives, and you're more than welcome.
like this.
You could do this for 8 hours.
Last hour, Broncos are rolling.
This would drive me crazy.
Tonight,
Like
Blake
that.
Snell's going for the Dodgers. We are tied at 2. We got a real World Series. It's the hurt.
Tomorrow is Thursday, right? I think I want to go to Columbia tomorrow.
To buy the computer.
Yeah.
Some people might give you one pizza for $9.99.
Yeah, like this Mustang na itong
He'll break it.
palete.
That's the problem.
Caesar's new more for $9.99 menu. Get two of your faves for only $9.99. The more for $9.99 menu for a limited time. Pizza, pizza.
And I'll just set it up in the hallway.
We're hallway. Ah,
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have
what is that for internet or for program?
So what it does is it acts like a server. And so when you log onto Yahoo, right, there's a computer out there that holds Yahoo. And when you log on to that, your computer connects to Yahoo's computer, and that's what it does. Well, when you're building a program, you need a server because trying to get that environment to test it, right?
It will not over that.
Oh, it will never. It's a computer. It'll never overheat. What the hell is that?
I said,
No matter what kind of teeth you gotta brush, Oral-B Electric cleans better with one simple touch. Oral-B's dentist-inspired brown brush heads hugs them.
I said,
It's in
she
between for
sent this
100%
to me.
That's icy.
Your perfect
Oh,
clean
someone is
starts with
asking
Oral-B.
man in Tagalog.
Yeah.
And you know, I think she's practical.
Paranoid.
She said, "Bye. Can you give me my Christmas money? Tell to your mom my Christmas gift." And Gavin, she replied, "Lol joke?" Like, and she said, "What is that? Are you joking, Paul?" Like,
She's being
Uh-oh.
pissed. Getting pissed.
They did not.
Okay, I'm the cousin of your grandpa. Thank you, niece.
You could
And
spend all
then
day sorting
you
your
should ask him, po. And then she gave her address. Yeah, ask him, not ask po. It's rude to ask distant relative for money. Thank you. You're like that. You are like that. Ano, like. And then have a good day. God is the Lord is the one who I mean, like guilt.
Trying to guilt him. And she was raised by me, so obviously she didn't take too kindly to that.
Lord is the one who honor you. Maybe try asking Lolo or Mom next time. We work abroad, not in a bank. With due respect, please stop guilt tripping the child for money. Stop asking me.
And they quit.
It's done now.
Are the best team in professional football. First
I
3 weeks,
told her
Mahomes was
just
wobbly.
ignore.
They were averaging 20 points a game. Sorry, NFL. They did it again. Only Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. They're the only people in this league that can take number 2.
It's like to just ignore.
It's hard.
And then I said, I think she's asking ano to me, friend request, but I delete.
Xavier Worthy, with any other team, would he be this good? All they do is make it work. Andy Reid is the great chef. He's the Gordon Ramsay. Everything in the
Maybe they just trying. Maybe it's no harm in trying.
Let's keep figuring out
Well, they still have what they have, just a little less dignity.
Oh. And I don't know them.
They still have what they have, nothing. They started with nothing, they ended with nothing. They lost their dignity.
And I said, careful what you ano, because some people, they are doing voodoo, especially at the province.
the defensive coordinator.
If you offended them, said they can voodoo whatever they want.
And here's Kansas City.
I believe in voodoo because
Oh, I believe in voodoo too.
Everything in the kitchen work, the receiving core now.
like you're talking now, later your face is like swollen.
There's a 3, Hollywood
That's why
now is a gadget 4, and with Mahomes and Reed pulling the levers, that is a way above average receiving core. Travis Kelce, he arrives. So this is what Kansas City does. That's the best team in the NFL right now. Kansas City Chiefs. Game 5 tonight. Blake Snell going for the Dodgers, but it's the Blue Jays. 5 of the 6 guys hitting over 300 in the series are Toronto Blue Jays. Is LA in trouble? Here's J Mac with the news.
I'm curious if they buy the box, no?
What?
The ownership.
Yes.
All right, let's start with George Pickens.
And then they make
Really
money.
savvy
They
move
thought they
by
will
Jerry
make
Jones to bring on
bigger.
Pickens, kind
No.
of a buy low from Pittsburgh, but guess what? It's gone amazing. He hasn't been a locker room distraction, but Colin, hey, they gotta pay him if they want to keep him. And interestingly, as much as Jerry Jones has talked about this team, reports indicate that Dallas has yet to engage with Pickens' reps on an extension talk. Listen, you don't want to go overboard. It's obviously mid-season. Pickens is cooking. I called the Cowboys, the Bengals of the NFC. That's starting to look true, right? You got Burrow, T. Higgins, and Chase, and now you got Dak, Pickens, and Lamb. Look, I don't know what Jerry does here. This is not an easy decision.
Well, it's got a little awesome.
Wait, that they cannot join to ano that?
Is that Austin
What?
Reeves offers duplication
our
on
family
things you already
thing, like-
have from people that do it better.
Because he's not 23. 2 adults, and then however many kids.
LeBron's better in the ball in his hands.
Icy can
than Austin
steal.
Reeves.
Correct, till she's 23.
CeeDee Lamb is better at separating than George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb is better deep than George Pickens. Why do I need duplication? I would rather move it, and because he's going to have a big year with his offense in Dak. He's going to have a nice year. Can I get a third or a fourth round back for him? He's been a good guy. He's been a good teammate. He's been wildly productive. I'm not saying you don't sign him. I'm saying I always think I want to pay. Here's the way I would look at it, J-Mac. I want to pay different skill sets to the NFL. I want to pay a quarterback. who can
Still
finish
can't
the
see my fucking
ball. I
tall
want to pay
face.
a left tackle.
The
who
ha-
can
the
catch the insurance
I don't-
policy for the quarterback.
Half. I look like the.
Big money who can catch the ball and run with it. I want to pay somebody who can attack the quarterback. I want to pay somebody who can cover the best weapon. I get really uncomfortable if I was a GM paying 2 people who do the same thing.
Well, so the Rams went out and got Devontae Adams, and we basically crowned them. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. They have Devontae and Puka. I would say
Slow
Pickens and
down.
Lamb have a
Slow down.
They done selling na
He's a fifth
Who?
round.
because it's cold na the army.
Correct.
They pay Puka, Devontae's gone. They're not paying 2
No,
people.
it's a financially, you're invested, you're too over-indexed into wide receivers.
So what I'm saying is, yes, because CeeDee Lamb's a 1. I can go, and they've got, what I would say is, in this draft, I would draft another receiver. They need an edge rusher in a corner. Then I would draft a receiver or a tight end. You can get that for much less pay. So it's like the Lakers. They're over-indexing on guys that can score with the ball in their hands. They're under-indexing on rim protection and wing athleticism. So when you're talking about paying big money, I want a team that has everything. But when you're talking big money, the Chiefs do it right. Travis gets it. Mahomes gets it. They even let Joe.
When is
Jones
their game again?
and then Chris Jones gets it.
Yeah.
So and basically they would not take
Sunday.
because their take was we already got one guy that gives us 10 targets and 9 catches. That's Kelsey, and he blocks.
Okay, so let me ask you. So a lot of the basic shows out there are gonna be like, Dak's playing like an MVP. Well, I could argue Dak is the same guy he's always been. What has changed is he now has Pickens and Lamb, and that is manipulating the defense. I mean, you can pick your poison here, Colin. If you're gonna leave Pickens one-on-one on the outside, he's gonna win 90% of those battles. He's huge. He's got great hands, great catch radius, and then what are you gonna leave Lamb open? One-on-one, he's gonna cook most of the DBs in this league. So I would say Dak looks like an MVP candidate because of the addition of Pickens. I don't think it's Schottenheimer. I think it's probably Pickens and Lamb. Would you agree?
Well, I think the value to Pickens, and it's a good argument, is that with him and CD both on the field, you can't cheat
Yeah.
on the run game, and that's why the
Javonte
run
Williams.
game is exploding for Dallas. I like Javonte Williams, but the reality is, when CD is out, you can cheat a little. When CD and Pickens are together, you can't cheat at all. I think these are healthy debates. I mean, the Bengals played Jamar Chase and the T. Higgins and the Joe Burrow, and why is their defense so bad? Because I just think you have to be very, very careful. I mean, the Rams moved off Cooper. They'll move off Devontae Adams, not this year, maybe not next year, but the year after. So you have to be careful about paying the same position twice.
So let's say Jerry watched this segment. Hey guys, so what do we do with Pickens? I would say JLC consultants say, you know what? The offense is set if you pay Pickens, Colin. The offensive line's banged up, but everybody should return. Tight end, you're good. Running back, you're good. You could go draft 5 or 6 defensive players and maybe you get 3 starters, and all of a sudden, I think the Cowboys, if they keep Pickens, can turn this around kind of quickly.
Well, ask yourself this: when CeeDee Lamb was out, Dak had 10 touchdowns and no interceptions, and that's CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
So George Pickens, do you think it's a surprise that he's much better with a better quarterback in Dak than he was in Pittsburgh? My take is George Pickens is not Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, where he excels with anybody. He got frustrated in Pittsburgh. The reason Pickens is so good is Dak. The quarterback makes the receiver. The receiver doesn't make the quarterback. Look at Larry Fitzgerald's career. He was always really good. But when he had Carson Palmer, he had his Kurt Warner, he had his best quarterbacks, I bet if you go to Larry Fitzgerald's numbers, they were better than the backups.
So what if I told you that Pickens was the Old Navy to Jamar Chase's J. Crew? We'll give you 80% of the quality at much cheaper cost. Because I think Pickens is probably like a top 12 receiver in the league, Colin. He's not that far off. 15? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I like him. I'm not going to
Pickens
ban
or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins. I like T's temperament.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Minnesota Vikings, Colin. They are starting J.J. McCarthy this week. He's very, injury prone, I guess. He played in 2 games in 2 seasons. Well, he's matching up with former Michigan teammate.
That's
Hutchinson.
throw away.
They go back a ways.
What is that like?
You know,
Mold?
We
What
have a
is
great
mold? I
relationship,
thought that is-
and probably gotta shoot him a text this
Because,
week at some point. Let him know. No, I'm super excited. He's a great competitor, great player, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, me and JJ will get our first matchup, if you want to call it that.
think
But
that
no, it's
chicken
gonna
can
be
eat
it's gonna be fun. I'm sure we'll laugh a little bit out there, and it'll be great.
Yeah,
8.5. It feels like Lions are past, right?
I mean, if the Lions won 30-17, I wouldn't be shocked. I feel the same way about Baltimore tomorrow. If you told me Baltimore just came in and whacked at Miami, which I think they're going to do. I mean, I looked at the schedule this weekend. There were 2 underdogs I like. One of them is the Commanders. It's another heavy favorite weekend. And trading deadline, some of these bad teams are going to be moving pieces. They're going to get worse.
And let me ask this Christian Darrisaw. Vikings offensive line's been so hurt. I mean, Wentz is dead. I mean, he's done for the season. I don't know if they can hold up against Hutchinson because that Lions front, McNeil's back, they're pretty good. I think I'm with you. I think I like the Lions. All right, final story. Let's pivot to the NBA, Colin. I told you about the Sixers. Well, Tyrese Maxey.
He made a poster like Halloween
early
thing.
on this guy. He put up
I said it
39
nice.
points at
Who?
10 assists against the
I-
hapless Wizards.
We should do a poster for like a door.
Keep an eye
Honor
on
thing?
Oh, okay.
You have to talk about Joel Embiid.
At her
How
story.
come she didn't put that to me?
No, at her story.
I'm not getting her story shit.
Look at this
Oh,
one,
no.
Jimmy.
Edgecombe and Tyrese
She got me on block.
Maxey in common. They are first.
I'm gonna say, you got me on block. I'm not getting your story.
You don't even have to know NBA basketball. I've watched the Sixers twice. Watch Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. They beat everybody on the first step. They jumped off the television. So the great thing for Daryl Morey is, for years you've kind of felt a little captive with Joel Embiid's help. You like him, but it's like, is he healthy? Now the Sixers are a backcourt first franchise, and both these guys are rockets. They are great first step attackers.
Look at this. Tyrese Maxey, it's only 4 games, leads the NBA in scoring at 37 in a game. Colin, this was, one of the biggest things you could do come draft time was,
She keep on
who was on
posting
Calipari,
the
didn't score a lot on the
the
Kentucky
old
team.
house.
And then popped
That was a
in.
good Christmas. I remember
He's a
that.
guard. Tyrese Maxey was on those Kentucky teams, and he was like Barry. He wasn't the superstar.
She posts.
He looks like a superstar. John Calipari held guys back in college. I remember you talked about it a lot.
Well, no, in fairness to Calipari.
Come on.
Well, no, but in fairness to Calipari.
Oh, that was the
18 years old.
poster she did of the old house.
Halloween. I cannot see that. I just.
Everybody knew SGA could play. Went to Kentucky, and Calipari doesn't recruit stiffs. But some guys, the mature. I mean, I remember Kevin Knox at Kentucky. I'm like, that guy's going to be great. He tops out out early. SGA took years to develop. So I'm not going to beat up on California. A lot of his guys were just, when guys go one and done, you don't get the best of them. Some guys just, yeah.
Hola.
Tyrese
Type
Maxey
of-
went 21st in the draft. If I name some of these
Oh
guards
wow,
right now,
I
you would
love
vomit in your mouth. I mean, the
those
Sixers got a
type.
massive steal.
Don't they get McCain back next month?
Kane's coming back. Paul George, PG-13. I think the Podcast P, whatever we're calling him now, he's back. By the way, Podcast P, have you listened to his podcast? Paul?
No, how is it? How is it good?
I don't.
J-Mac with a new.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
Oh, I love those type of teas.
Hey, you know,
Damn.
it is funny talking to Joel
Beans.
Platt. All these colleges. How are we going to pay anybody with NIL? We don't have any money here. Yeah, we're going to write a $60 million check for James Franklin, 55 for Brian Kelly. They always have money. It's like political parties. They're constantly sending you stuff. Oh, man, we
Someone
need money.
said,
They always
"Dang."
got money. Universities. Oh, where it's a real cutbacks. If you see the endowments of Ivy League schools, they've always got cash. It's a
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie, use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm gonna trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull Zero. Zero sugar. 100% wings with monk fruit extract. Tried it yet?
The DQ sauce and tossed chicken strip basket comes in your choice of honey barbecue or new sweet chili, layered with flavor from top, bottom, and everywhere in between. That's the
So
sauce
that they
and
can
tossed
hear
chicken
this.
strip basket. Get it delivered today. Only at DQ.
What are you doing up there?
I'm just posting
This
to
is
our visitors the homes.com network.
1.5 now.
The go-to
Okay.
home
Yeah, we're probably halfway
Got
done.
another 14,000.
What?
Gotta go back up. Oh,
This is
17,891.
Just hand me some commas and zeros.
Plus 7.
What?
That's sweet. 25,000 more. Any reason why you didn't just go with
It's
100 million?
I not
delayed.
A billion visits a
I
year?
not yet take medicine. Wait, pala.
Homes.com. A place to
Oh,
find a
John.
place.
They're good. For squad goals and squad. People good for these guys' cheers and these guys' cheers. Jim Beam, best enjoyed together. Official spirit of U.S. soccer.
The reviews are in. First things first. To say, hey, I'll go first. I watch every day. I love how insightful Chris and Nick are. Nick and Chris are great. I'm Which is I like to run. We're gonna break these. What's wrong with us? Nick is right. Oh, wow. Nick, Drew, and Juan serve up a fresh daily dose of prescription and filtered sports talk.
I need to push that now.
What?
This? No.
No.
Hey, folks, welcome to Red Game, our own little slice of heaven.
Rookie Snoopy boy.
Things like this, you're asking anything, there's something seriously wrong with that farm. He's not taking our money. The only thing he's coming with is sad.
Good sense tonight.
We need the one box.
Honestly, make it worse. Worse than this.
I think we'll need all of them. What are you doing?
Try to put nothing.
Huh? Put what thing?
This territory is larger than the state of Delaware. What rule could change them?
What do you need to put?
The one that I will ano.
Are you kidding me? No, we're not. Welcome to 99 to Pete.
$1 million pushes players to the brink. It only done 98 after the 4, November 5th on Fox.
Most days, there's no way these kids are up for that. They know.
What?
Noon's in town.
What?
What's the key to a win today, Max? Back when I won the Heisman, what do I say? Anyway, how's my hair? Huh? Don't skip Wednesday, pal. Where's my camera? Where's my camera? Hey, wake up! It's only
But I just put here.
No, we got another pen, don't we?
Yes.
This
I
year,
just put-
we are finally updating our kitchen in subway tile and an ivory
or eggshell. Cream, maybe bone. Don't get me started on quartz. Big island. You ever heard of a waterfall?
For everyone who talks about doing that
And
thing,
over there,
but never does that thing,
sweet little breakfast nook.
Chase has financial guidance.
See, I can start saving to make this happen. Really?
At
Really?
home or in person.
You could also check out a Chase Money Skills book.
That's guidance from Chase.
But you didn't have my help you.
Get more of what you want this season during the Kia Fall Savings Event. Like more off-road adventure with the Sorento. Or Telluride. Or more fun zipping around in the Seltos. Or Nero Hybrid. And new Kia vehicles come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, so you can get more out of every year. During Kia's Fall Savings Event, get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus 1,000 retail bonus cash on select 2025 Sorento models.
Today, business happens virtually everywhere. That's why I'm giving you Super Mobile from T-Mobile. The best plan on the best network. A first of its kind plan that lets you run your business from your phone like never before. In moments of high demand, T-Mobile's network adapts. Put your business connection first.
We still have a lot
Your business, your business. Super Mobile, the best business plan on the best network. You won't believe where I am.
We're getting there.
Memory.
Fox is critically acclaimed that Doc is back. And you can watch it anytime.
I need to be the doctor that I was.
Doc, watch anytime one thing.
Start Saturday strong with the undefeated top-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes as they face off against rivals Penn State at the Shoe. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with big noon kickoff live from Columbus. Then it's Penn State, Ohio State. Big noon Saturday, only on Fox.
J-Mac is, he's mad because Michael Jordan and now Charles Barkley both criticize modern players for not playing. Jordan and Barkley are not criticizing players for their style. They're criticizing them because they're a little soft. The media doesn't hold them accountable. The NBA media wants access over clicks. They want access. And so Michael Jordan came out and basically said load management is nonsense. Now, it started with Greg Popovich. For the record, it did start with him. And I said I'll always defend young seven-footers and old stars taking 10 games off. I'll always defend that. But if you're in like your SGA right now, and he is, he's paying most of the international guys, SGA, he's playing all game. So I think load management drives me crazy. But if you take out like two guys, take out Kawhi Leonard. Like, just take Kawhi out. We wouldn't talk about it nearly as much. Like, Ant plays, Tatum plays, SGA plays.
All the guys in the 20s, they play all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So load management is, you know, it's kind of gone, it's a little overwrought that people are going crazy. The big guys who get banged up, they're like, hey, my body's not built for it. I will defend those guys, and the old LeBron guys I'll defend. But I think, you know, the media does this. The political media does it all the time. It's the end of times. Load management drives me nuts, but if you took just Kawhi out, it wouldn't feel quite as bad.
100%. By the way, NFL media does not do this. You know, all they're doing is celebrating Daniel Jones and celebrating the Colts' greatness and Baker Mayfield, teams that they don't usually bump up. I don't. NBA media, like Michael Jordan and NBC, get in bed with the NBA, and now we're blasting load management. Of all the things to talk about in week 2, Jordan takes his, let me take shots at the modern era. Look this. Well, I'll hold back before I say some curse words. It's just frustrating to see Jordan do that. Like, talk about all the good stuff happening.
Well, we are in the media. As I've said before, the media talks about plane crashes, not plane landings. You don't send a reporter to an airport in Indianapolis and say, 140 flights came in today, all landed perfectly. That's not news, right? So there are things in the media to go say, what a great bunch of players is not news. Michael Jordan saying, I think load management's nonsense, makes news. and Charles Barkley makes news. By the way, I never have a problem with ex-athletes coming in. In fact, the opposite is usually true. Ex-athletes pander to their buddies who play. 100%. I like that Jordan and Barkley are willing to go, this part I don't like. It's very rare, even in the NFL, which has got a lot of great analysts. You know, somebody that used to work at Fox now at the other place, he's pretty hard on NFL players, and he's viewed as the one analyst that's really, really hard on players.
I don't know who that is, but hey, if we want to pivot from NBA, can I just touch on something Klatt said real quick? So he said that the LSU job is definitely better than Penn State. Colin, I'm gonna put this out there. If you look at the current rankings, there's 8 SEC teams in the top 20. Go look at the LSU schedule the next couple years. It's so difficult to win. I know there's so many good players in that region. I know there's a lot of money. I'm just telling you, if you want to coach college football and win, you would take the Penn State job over LSU. There's so many good players in Pennsylvania, and you're not losing them to Pitt. But I'm going to Temple. You're getting them at Penn State. I think there's a great opportunity there. If you offer me LSU and the money was similar, I'm taking Penn State in a heartbeat. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of value. Like, for instance, when I decided to move mostly from LA to Chicago and drove the decision. So, I mean, seriously, so a lot of it is, are my kids in school? It's not all money. If you're being, let's say Penn State offers 10 million, LSU 12. So my thing is, where are my kids in school? How old are my kids? Are we empty nesters? Then I'll just go for the money. If we're not, where are my kids in school? Does my wife have a very strong social network that she doesn't want to leave? Because when you're getting offered those big jobs, I mean, you can win a lot of jobs at a lot of games at Penn State. I think LSU's a better job in terms of talent. I mean, Les Miles won an Natty, Saban won an Natty, and Orgeron won an Natty. That's 3 guys. So Penn State doesn't have that resume. But again, I think sometimes we do a bad job. We think it's all about the money. I always said Texas is a great job. Part of it is Austin, Texas. By college standards, it's a top 7 or 8 college town. Ann Arbor is a great college town. Athens, Georgia. I'd much rather live in Athens than Tuscaloosa. I think Athens is a great college town. And, you know, University of Washington, you live in a big city. Eugene's a good college town. There's a lot of places that I don't even want to get a flat tire in that have college football programs. Right?
And I admit, I've never been to Happy Valley. You've been, I haven't been there. I haven't been to Baton Rouge except when we went to the Super Bowl. So I don't know the college towns as well. But, yeah, I had Tim Brando on my podcast, great announcer. I know you know him.
Yeah.
He does not think Lane Kiffin is going to be leaving Ole Miss. And apparently Ole Miss has a lot of money. You know, they'll just for Lane Kiffin.
My question is this.
Ala, it's one na
If you
pala.
can make
I know.
$9 million at Ole Miss, and you can make 11.5.
This is the whole day.
No.
I would say.
We're probably at a box now.
There's a lot of pressure at that job, too.
Think we're in a box yet?
1 box left.
1 box left.
Again, some people want
So you think we've done 3?
the Steven Jackson line, I make love to pressure. But I'm taking the Penn State job over the LSU job. And I know there's a lot of fertile ground for athletes in the LSU area, but Penn State is not chop liver. I'm telling you, that's schedule. It's winnable. You win 9 games next year.
And the mini line in, free popcorn. The Oregon job, because of Phil Knight's become a great job. Unbelievable facilities. Now, the state has no players here. So you have to get on a plane to go get players. But, you know, Mark Hughes proven that at Gonzaga. Now, you got to get more football than basketball players, but you can win anywhere if you have the right system, the right assistants, the right capital. So, I just think if I'm winning 10 and getting into the playoff at Ole Miss, I'm staying. I'm probably staying. Hour 3.
Steve, John, they say with Lavazza, you'll become a maestro. Yeah, maestro of coffee. So it has nothing to do with music. It doesn't. Just coffee. Coffee. Shall I go again? Don't.
Enjoy the pleasure of a masterfully crafted coffee and feel like an Italian barista at home.
Don't do it.
Discover Lavazza blends now.
I need that one. That is my G flat.
My car insurance bill doubled? You should try Insurify. In just a few clicks, you can compare rates from dozens of insurance companies. And you could. I just got the same coverage for half the price. Hey, that's what I was gonna say. Go to Insurify.com and save up to $1,000 a year on your car insurance.
Are you watching a show?
But it's an official workout.
You're watching the show?
I'm watching different.
Huh?
I'm watching different.
Correct. You're watching something, right? Yeah, and then you get mad at me for watching that?
No.
The DQ sauce and tossed chicken strip basket comes in your choice of honey barbecue or new.
I just realized you're watching something. Just because mine blares,
That's the
What?
sauce
because I don't like,
chicken strip basket. Get it delivered today.
what's it called? I don't like headphones or earbuds.
I need to be the doctor that
They hurt my ears.
It hurts.
I'll do whatever it takes.
And you can watch it anytime.
Every path we choose comes with a price. What's wrong? I just had a memory.
Doc, watch anytime on Hulu. Regular season wins are cute. All those laps led, adorable. And the burnouts, yesterday. But it's the Craftsman Truck Series playoffs now. No time to admire your reflection of the shiny trophies in May and June.
Are we gonna finish?
It's what have you won for me lately time? No room for
1 hour.
You said 1 hour, an hour and a half ago.
And to be a champion, you best not look back. When you fire up Big Ten Plus, you get more. More live games. More stories. More must-see highlights. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. Hey folks, welcome to my game. Our own little slice of happiness.
Seriously wrong with that part. What if we make it worse? Worse than this?
He started to get very angry. My anxiety. How much did he get from her? $53,000 or life ruining money. Yeah. Scams that we come across scare people apart.
You got my home address, my phone number.
What we do is get into direct communication with a scammer. Baiting scammers into a trap.
Click the link.
Will unearth an entire network of deception.
And confront those responsible.
We're looking for Jeffrey. This scammer collected 5 times.
I'm holding it. Hold it up. This is where she's supposed to wire 20,000.
Oh wow. We might need to go to a Jeffrey bubble.
I'm coming, dude. Can we go? You need to stop at the freaking cologne store?
Yeah. Let's go.
2 million.
It shows how relentless these scams are. It's better than a little slice of revenge.
Scam. Getting even. Streaming now on Fox Station. Sign up at foxstation.com. Think a word to define us.
Improbable.
Think another word. Something attacked her here.
I saw the bear carrying out her.
I'm not sure this was a bear attack.
She was already dead when the bear found her. Was there someone else on the show?
There's a man.
You killed her. The bear killed her. You need a confession.
Murder in a small town. Only Tuesday on Fox.
This brain is 4% larger than average. Watching FS1's daily shows, engineered to activate your body rhythm. First things first, and Barstool. Weekdays on FS1. Real brainer.
You need to get the clothes there now.
Yep.
Ah, ito will not fit
What?
to the car.
Why not?
This is the story of the one who knows half-baked preparation leads to downtime that could bring the whole workday to a standstill. That's why she relies on Grainger. With professional-grade products and next-day delivery, Grainger helps ensure her team and a whole lot of donuts.
We need to ano the bitter
A
gold.
little
Ano?
sweeter. Call clickgrainger.com
Like what the-
or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You could spend all night
That
shopping
bitter
and
gold.
receive and coding every expense. Or you could let Raptor. Close the books without the busy work. Raptor, Law Finance.
They're passing 50 times a game. You know what I mean? Our caps don't travel like that, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have the wide receiver lined up over here on the split. You know what I'm saying?
They did not know what he was saying.
I know what you're saying, Cornell.
Nobody knows football
Please free.
like Tom Brady.
Nice.
Here we go. It's hour 3. You know, Ryan just made a good point with the producers on the show. Because when you come from one of these classic Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State programs, Michigan, J.J. McCarthy, and what your fans say of you, the media pundits say of you, well, he accurately distributes the ball. Yeah, when you played Michigan with Harbaugh, or Ohio State, or Georgia, or Alabama, your pocket is much broader, your time is longer, and your receivers are more open. If somebody says that guy at Boston College, he accurately distributes the ball, that's impressive. He's running for his life and throwing to CFL players. So with Ty Simpson at Bama, that's not an NFL pocket. He's got all sorts of time to throw. That's not an NFL pocket. And his receivers are first-round, second-round wide receivers. That's not the NFL. It is tight pockets. Go ask Caleb Williams. 1001, 1002, that's how they go out of your hand, and the windows the size of like 2 footballs. So
Look like it will not done.
What?
Before we pick up the
Oh, we'll get done. In 30 minutes. You don't think we're gonna get done in 30 minutes? You're dumping your stuff over on the other side.
I think we can feed this to chicken so that they have healthy
Egg.
That's something. I see a lot of guys. That's right. 15 minutes, Mark Schlereth stopped by, and we have ourselves a World Series. Can you say 6 games, maybe 7? Blue Jays even it up against the Dodgers in LA last night. We knew
Who's number 1?
Who? It's tied.
Toronto simply gets back on
Both?
the ball
Yeah.
consistently.
2-2.
They are a big inning team. 9 times in the playoffs, they've scored 4 or more runs in an inning. That's 3 times more than the Dodgers. And they dropped a 4 spot in the 7th inning. So, Ohtani was fine. He made the first couple innings. Shohei Ohtani made Toronto batters look really bad. He mostly had his stuff. Shohei was sharp. 6 innings, gave up 6 hits. He was fine. Now, Vlad Guerrero, and you know this is going to happen. Vlad Guerrero was eventually going to break out of it, and he did. Vlad's hitting .419 in the playoffs. So when you hang one up near his belt, he's going to do that and park it at Dodger Stadium. But here's a Dodger dilemma. There are 6 players in the World Series who are hitting 300 or better. 6. 5 are Blue Jays. Addison Barger hitting .429. Vlad hitting 4. Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, Ernie Clement. I mean, there's Shohei Ohtani's mixed in there, but it is a real problem right now. Toronto gets back on ball, and last night's a prime example. Dave Roberts had talked about Shohei bringing down the velocity to see if he could last longer, so he wasn't quite as dominating. When he left, it was 2-1, and a little after that, it was 6-1. Because this is what Toronto does. They
Butch it in. How may I help you?
And so you can't
Yep.
ask for everybody to throw a complete game. Blake Snell goes tonight, but the bigger issue is
Yes.
next month he's hitting a $1.76. Mookie Betts hitting a $1.58. Tommy Edman, great defensive players, hitting a $1.67. So Freddie Freeman and Ohtani are carrying the offense. They're on fire. Everybody else for the Dodgers is on sabbatical with a lot of strikeouts. And once again last night, they stranded 18 the other night and won. Last night they were 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. So you just right now, the story of the series is Ohtani's unbelievable, but the Blue Jays got 5 guys hitting over 300 and a couple at 400 and above. So they're going to have to tweak that roster, tweak that lineup. The bullpen again, it's been spotty, hot and cold. Last night couldn't get out. But it was more about Toronto. Getting guys on, driving runs in. Here's Dave Roberts on his struggling offense.
We haven't found our rhythm. We
They
haven't,
want Sharon.
No.
It sort of draws
It's a
dead at certain parts of the line.
property.
In different parts, different innings, different games. Guys are competing. Certainly in the postseason, you're seeing everyone's best. But yeah, my hope is that we regroup tomorrow.
Well, good luck. Blake Snell goes tonight, and then we're going to get 2 games, 1 minimum in Canada. But last night was the Jays' night, and Ohtani was fine. He was pretty sharp. But at some point, Vlad was going to break, pitch up in the strike zone. He did, and the ball got rolling. All right, so the NFL is pretty cruel when it comes to coaches. I mean, it feels like Greg Popovich coached forever in San Antonio. Spoelstra coaching forever. Steve Kerr's got a job as long as he wants it. But in the NFL, Andy Reid got fired. Bill Belichick got fired. Cowboys got a new owner. Tom Landry got fired. I don't know what to do with Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin, the Steelers are broken. But it's the defense that's broken. The Pittsburgh defense, for the 4th straight year, is the most expensive in the league. Yesterday, trade deadline coming up, they got a safety from the New England Patriots, Kyle Duggar. That's not going to solve it. When you watch that Green Bay game, Sunday Night Football, man, is it apparent. Green Bay is a very progressive, smart, and current franchise. Aaron Rodgers is keeping them afloat. Actually, the Steelers are averaging 5.4 yards a play. That's good. I looked this morning, top 3 red zone offense. Yards per play, red zone, turnovers. Aaron Rodgers' influence has been really, really impressive. He's having a sneaky year. He's not throwing the ball deep downfield. Aaron's done his part. But right now, that defense, you can't pay the most for something and get lousy production. That's how TV shows get canceled. That's the Steelers. 4 straight year, highest paid defense, and they're bad. It's the worst in Tomlin's era. It's like paying $80 a month for a streaming service with no hits. At some point, where are the hits? And I've said this with Aaron Rodgers. He can be the
You can see the bottom.
He's actually really good.
Yes.
He's not throwing the ball down the field. This is not going to be Jalen Hurts down the field to Devontae Smith. It's not going to be Matt Stafford down the field to Puka. That's not what this offense is. It's not. This offense is big, large human beings, 15 yards and in. But red zone, that's a quarterback stat too. They're kind of good this year. They're kind of good. They don't turn the ball over a ton. So what do you do with Mike Tomlin? I'm not anti-defensive coach, but the really good defensive coaches make an impact immediately. Mike Vrabel comes in. Patriots, 22nd defense before Mike got there, 4th this year. Mike McDonald got to Seattle 30th to 14th. Now they're top 10. I mean, the Rams don't spend anything on their defense. They're second. It's cheap labor, right? So when you have veterans, you're paying them a fortune, and they're awful. Kyle Duggar's not going to be the answer. So I don't know what you do. It feels like the Steelers are broken. I've always said I judge coaches on their side of the ball. Say what you want about Lincoln Riley at USC. The offense is fine. You can argue he's not a head coach. He's not a culture creator. You argue what you want. He gets his stuff. I mean, the Rams offense is almost always good. They can take 5th round Puka, 3rd round Cooper Cup in his prime, 4th, 5th round Kyron Williams, an undrafted starting left tackle. Sean McVay is squeezing every bit of juice out of that Rams offense. Mid-low round guy, he'll make them work. They got a 7th round receiver who already had a touchdown pass this year. But with Mike Tomlin, he's good at the podium, but I think the franchise is broken. Here's mine.
We all have to own it. Certainly you start with the schematics, man, because that's the leadership component of it. And certainly we'll be looking at everything that we're doing, man, because some of these problems are somewhat repetitive and we're not getting better fast enough.
Do you know who the player of the week was in the NFL, in the NFC this week? It's Jordan Love. Who did Jordan Love play? Oh, the Steelers defense. The week before, who was the player of the week? Oh, let me see. It's Jamar Chase. Anybody know who he did it again? Got the Steelers? Am I being snarky? Okay. They're broken. Can I say? Mark Schlereth, they're on the corner. In Chicago, it's there.
The DQ sauce and tossed chicken strip basket comes in your choice of honey barbecue or new sweet chili, layered with flavor from the top, bottom, and everywhere in between. That's the sauce and tossed chicken strip basket. Get it delivered today, only at DQ.
We're all unreasonable about something. For us, it's creating uncompromisingly delicious burgers. Handcrafted, consciously made. Maker's Mark, perfectly unreasonable.
Life is always changing, and Dad loves Snap House adapts to it all. Gathering around for game day one moment, reconfiguring for entertaining the next. And tomorrow, a new look entirely. Because Lovesack adapts to life, our life.
Definitely half a box left. It's funny, the door rings. We both look up.
Get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave.
Nature sure is full of wonders.
Red Bull gives you wings.
As teachers, taking care of ourselves is taking care of our students. AG1 gives me a little bit of kickstart to my day, and I know it's full of ingredients that help support the immune system. We are better as teachers when we are feeling healthy and strong, and it is very hard to do that when you're feeling run down. I've got a whole classroom counting on me. I don't want to miss the day.
With Click Eyewear, say goodbye to losing your readers and hello to convenience. With Click Eyewear, your glasses are always in reach.
These are a revolutionary pair of readers with a very unique, inconvenient feature. Click readers feature strong front connection magnets, allowing me to shift the glasses from my face down to my neck so I don't have to worry about misplacing or damaging them.
Click glasses are always there when you need them.
All right, locked in for this meeting. Total focus.
What? Oh, good. RAI gives meeting notes and insights even on meetings I can't attend.
Dang it, I picked the wrong one.
Otter, the AI meeting agent.
Great things happen when you make it happen. When you create your own opportunity. Find the limit and go further. So when we wanted to be menswear essential, we made it happen.
holiday to feel like a holiday.
Hi guys, welcome.
It matters where you stay. Book your holiday stay with Hilton. Hilton for the stay.
With Straight Talk Sprint unlimited data, say yes to unlimited streaming.
Yes.
Unlimited gifting.
No.
And unlimited holiday moments.
Yes.
Get a free 5G phone on us on America's most reliable 5G network. Find us at straighttalk.com.
Choose Advil Liquid Gels for faster, stronger, and longer-lasting relief than Tylenol Rapid Release Gels. Because Advil targets pain at the source of inflammation. So for faster pain relief, Advil, the pain away.
Found a sweet dentist on Zapka. Dr. Staff is a real beauty, and people say he's passionate about dentistry. Dr. Sales on 33rd. You can practically skate there. Booked it.
And tasty.
You got options. Book now.
Almost done.
This is Spoon.
If you want to, sit down.
It's a better way to watch live sports shows.
Sit down,
and
take a
news
break.
without cable.
I'll finish
Watch
it.
4 games at once with Multiview. Record every game with a clip. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Yes. WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cuff on.
What about my car?
WeatherTech. What have we got? The hell way to die, Chief.
You had a chance to solve everyone's crimes.
No, you're lying. Keep your eyes wide open, same as your mind. Murder in a small town. Watch anytime over the road.
Halloween is Friday. Do we ever figure out who to give credit for the Fox set? Is that graphics that's making those ghosts appear and reappear? Greg, tell us who we gotta give credit to. The sound department. They did a very good job this week. Got bats all over the set. And look at this. That's fantastic. That is amazing. Way to go, people who did that. Okay, Gary Hartley gets credit. Way to go, Gary Hartley, you crushed. I mean, if my producers only worked as hard as you. Boom! That was uncalled for. All right, Mark Schlereth joining us live from Denver, where he spent, show him the t-shirt, Mark. Show him what you spent 3 hours on today.
Law and Order Special Mowing Unit. One of my listeners on my YouTube show, the Speak the Truth podcast on YouTube, sent me this. Said, "Could you please wear this the next time you do a podcast?" So I wore it today. It'll be out this afternoon, and I'll tell you what, I'm loving this shirt. This is awesome, and it is so much me because I'm out there. On Monday, I was out in my yard for 3.5 hours, working in the yard, mowing, getting the leaves up. Tremendous, just tremendous work.
Yeah. I spend about an hour a week with a therapist. You get it for free on your lawn. I mean, that's the difference. You're the smart one. All right, of all the things Sean Payton has done, I mean, he inherited a team that had Russell Wilson, gave up draft capital. They are really good. What's the one thing, because you cover them weekly, you see them, you talk about them. What is the one secret sauce to what he's done?
Well, he holds guys accountable. First and foremost, Colin, the salary cap in the NFL is fungible. It is the biggest joke to me when we say, oh, we can't let go of this guy, or oh, we're going to be in the salary cap purgatory. What are we going to do? Russell Wilson, we're never going to be able to rebuild. You can manipulate that money any way you want to manipulate that money. If you want to get rid of a guy, you can get rid of him. If you want to pay a guy, you can pay a guy. So that whole salary cap thing is garbage. Then I think from Sean's standpoint, man, he's a great coach. He motivates his players, and he's one of those guys that has the two types of fear that I always talk about. Biblically, fear refers to kind of awesome reverence and respect. He's got the respect and the reverence of his players, but also fear. Like, I'll cut your ass in a heartbeat if you don't do what I ask you to do. And over the last couple of weeks, they were abysmal, on the edge, bubble screens, wide receivers not blocking. I guarantee you, they will come to Jesus meeting inside
receiver and said, you're going to be the point of attack on our pitch and pull game. We're going to be the point of attack out there, blocking people on bubble screens. And he absolutely dispensed justice out there as a receiver blocking. You know what they did later? Rewarded him with a touchdown over the top. Over the top. So that's exactly the kind of coach that he is. I'm going to hold you accountable. And if you don't want to do it, be my guest, don't do it. But you're not going to play for me. And I love that aspect of Sean Payton.
You called Browns at the Patriots. You saw Drake May. He's got to learn how to slide. You obviously played with Elway. I think Drake May is going to be a star, if not already. What do you see as somebody that played in the NFL forever, 3 rings, 2 Pro Bowls? What do you see that you go, wow? What's his wow trait?
I think one is his ability to throw a deep ball, to get that deep ball to turn over and be deadly accurate on that from all kinds of different platforms. The guy has just been amazing. And there's so much room for growth. Sitting down, talking with Josh McDaniels, their offensive coordinator, he's like, listen, man, at this particular point in time, he's so good on the front side of saying, hey, man, 1 to 2, if it's not open, he'll take off. And he goes, he'll get to 3 and 4 occasionally, but right now it's like 1, 2, let me go make a play. Let me go do something positive for my offense. And then he's like, hey man, when he consistently gets to the 3rd and 4th read in his progression, he's going to be exceptional. Now, the thing about him is he's one of those rare cats, like most of us can see it when we draw it up on a grease board or when we're watching on film. But when you come off the sideline and the coach can explain to you, this is what they were in, and you can visualize it, you can see that visual picture in your brain, and you're like, okay, I get it, and not make a mistake going forward. Basically assimilating that information, being able to process the whole thing with just words that create pictures in your mind. And that's where those elite level processors, those elite level decision makers, they see the game at a different level. And I think that's where Drake is right now. And it's not good enough to just call him one of the best young quarterbacks in football. He's just playing like one of the best quarterbacks in football.
So A.J. Brown, there was a story in The Athletic today, and A.J. Brown, his words was like, I don't make friends easily, I'm a bit of a loner. The writer said his dopamine is catching the football. And in my lifetime, you can go back to Andre Risner, T.O., the receivers have always been sort of a little bit of an NBA player. They're on an island, they're often the tallest, longest, best athlete, often the fastest guy on the team. They're very unique athletes. They don't, a lot of times they're just on an island. You throw it up for them when they're not open. When reading that article, Philadelphia is such a collective. I mean, their number 1 play is the tush push. Ugly, all in as a team, right? And A.J. Brown's the opposite. He's on the edge. He's on an island. I think last week they didn't play him. The offense was great. Did you ever have a teammate who was wildly talented, but was a bit of a loner? Maybe wasn't part of the structure of the team. Doesn't make him a bad guy, but like we always think, the more talent, the better. Fit is really important in pro sports. I just don't know if A.J. Brown works in Philly long term.
Yeah, I think you might be right. And, I always say this about wide receivers. I probably said it on your show a time or two. They're like children. They're dependent, right? 11 guys or 10 other guys have to do their job really well for you to catch a football. And then they're they whine and cry if they don't get fed. Like, they're just like toddlers. And that's not always a good thing, to be that toddler. And I would tell you this, the guy's incredibly talented. But I go back to what wins in Philly. And what wins in Philly is exactly what you said. And we've got to be a dominant front. We've got to run the football. We've got to control the time of possession. We've got to limit our quarterback. He's not a high-volume thrower. He's a low-volume thrower off the play action.
Damn, I thought we were going to be done at 30.
Safety rotations to where they're trying to stop the run game.
There's no way we can get all this done in 5 minutes.
And you look at it last week, played out exactly like that. They ran the style of the ball. Saquon Barkley hits one deep for a touchdown early in that game. And
Going overdrive. Going overdrive.
That's the formula. And
Right.
listen, man.
I'm going overdrive.
Winning that way. And there's nothing wrong with managing your team that way because that's what your identity is and that's the way you play the best. But that doesn't necessarily lend itself to a guy that wants to be featured, that wants to like AJ Brown does.
You know, I gotta ask you a question. It's kind of in the weeds, but I've seen Andy Reid got rid of Joe Tooney, and their O-line is ranked 4th, and they haven't even had Josh Simmons regularly. I've seen McVay rebuild his offensive line. There's something about offensive coaches, yet Tomlin, I'm on year 7, I don't like their O-line. There is something about certain coaches, and you play the position at the highest level, and I think it's mostly offensive coaches, have an ability to mold, mesh, and create cohesion up front. And again, Andy Reid's had to rebuild that thing 4 times in 6 or 7 years. What is the secret sauce? Now, you can always just go draft Penei Sewell. You know, there are ways, Tristan Wirfs. Sometimes you figure it out in April. But when I see these offensive coaches rebuilding the O-lines over and over and over and over, what's the secret sauce in the building of a great O-line beyond buying Trent Williams?
Yeah, so it becomes one of those 5 guys working together for each other. Like you got to be on the same page. So you've got to be seeing things identically. You've got to all be doing the work together. You know, I always say this, all 5 of us could be doing the wrong thing. As long as we're doing the wrong thing together, we're gonna get 4 yards. Like that's how offensive line play works. And so it becomes continuity. How much continuity do you have as a group? The other thing that I think becomes apparent with guys like Andy Reid is there are guys who call plays and there are guys who call offenses. And when you become somebody who becomes a creator of offense in structure, and you understand the issues that your offensive line has and the offensive line faces, you start to call plays in a fashion that takes pressure off those guys. And this is one thing I always said over the course of my analyst career, but as I've traveled around and talked to different teams and consulted with different teams about play up front, how do you take a passive out of pass protection? And the great play callers give you tools to take the passive out of pass protection, to create a situation where you're the aggressor as opposed to just sitting back and throwing it 40 times and becoming a puncher's mill. Like nobody is going to have success doing that. So it's really the structure of how you call plays, how you tie plays together, and how you will let that offensive line come off the ball and actually be the aggressors in those things. When you can play ahead of the chains and it's 2nd down and 4 and your whole playbook is open to you, then the defense has to do what? They have to respond in kind, so they have to defend the run. They have to defend the play action. They have to defend the play pass. They have to defend the drop pass. They have to defend the quick game. You know what you don't do real well when you do that? You don't rush the passer. You don't affect the quarterback when you have all those other things that you have to defend. And that's the great play callers do that for their own lines.
Finally, is there a team, and you can include Denver, if you guessed today the Super Bowl, the best of the best. Now, again, football looks different in late October, November, December. Run games become more important. Downfield throwing not as important. If I said today, Super Bowl, are there a team in each conference that jumps out to you?
Yeah, the Chiefs right now jump out to me, which makes me want to puke.
Yeah.
Being a Bronco and living here, but they're really good, and the balance of what they're doing offensively and the way they're playing on the defensive side. And the crazy thing about the Chiefs is I want to hate them so much, but I actually really respect them like Andy Reid. I really respect Patrick Mahomes' ability to play. I respect Spags and what they do on the defensive side of the ball. So I really respect them as a football team. Just in my AFC West ties, I hate them with the White Hot Dancing 1,000 Suns, but I think they're the best team in the AFC right now, maybe in the National Football League. The other one is the Rams for me, man. The Rams just have that, the Rams are disguised as this finesse, they got this finesse football team, this spread around football team. They're a power run, nasty, physical group, both lines of scrimmage, offensively and defensively, disguised as a spread football team. Like they go to Halloween are disguised as a spread football team, and then they just punch you in the mouth. I really like the Rams. I've obviously Stafford, but I like the way that Sean McVay has constructed that football team.
Mark Schlereth, show that shirt one more time. Lawn and order. Special mowing unit.
Mowing unit. That's me. That's me right there. I'll be in the neighborhood all day. Don't need a taste.
All right, thanks, Mark. As always. J-Mac with the news.
This is the Herdline News.
All right, Colin, let's go to where Mark was just talking about, and that is the big matchup in Buffalo. On Sunday afternoon, it is the game of the weekend. Patrick Mahomes against Josh Allen. They will go head-to-head for the 10th time
3:30.
in the regular season. Josh Allen has
3:30 or
dominated,
2:30?
going 4-1. In the postseason, obviously, it's a different story. Mahomes has dominated 4-0 in the playoffs. Colin, I was surprised the Chiefs are laying 2.5. I think a lot of that has to do with everybody, including you, think the Chiefs are the best team in the league.
The weather is a non-factor. It's going to be beautiful and 50 degrees. So it's going to be who's got the most weapons on offense. The offenses are going to move the chains, and I'm taking Kansas City.
All right, you have the Chiefs. I'll go head-to-head with you with the Buffalo Bills. I think that they're being disrespected just because of a couple bad games, especially that Atlanta no-show. I mean, hell, they lost to Atlanta and people wrote them off as jokers. Meanwhile, Patrick Mahomes loses to Jacksonville. It's like, well, we excuse it out of the way. We'll see. I like Buffalo in this one. By the way, I loathe that MVP talk. I think that's stupid and cheap. I am curious. This is one of the, usually the MVP is decided by like 5 games. High leverage game where everybody, 30 million people are watching. This is going to be one. So I think the winner of this takes an edge in the theoretical MVP race. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think Baker had a lot of momentum early, but I think in terms of sheer production, and Lamar's been hurt and Burrow's out and Herbert got sacked too much. Yeah, it makes a lot, and Daniel Jones won't get it. People just won't.
Well, wait a minute. If Mahomes loses this one, and then Mahomes loses to Daniel Jones, all of a sudden it becomes, I think, it's Daniel Jones, Josh Allen, with Jordan Love in the mix of this one. And
How much money would you have won if you'd have said, in a couple years, I believe in Daniel Jones. He'll finish second in the MVP vote. I mean, that's the thing. You got to be careful about saying a hot take. If I'd have told you a year out, yeah, KD's going to go to his rival, the Warriors. Brady's going to leave and go to Tampa. Daniel Jones, if he gets a single MVP vote, is one of the stories of the last 5 years in the NFL.
Get an MVP vote. I know there's people saying, what about Jonathan Taylor? Running backs are not discussed. They're not MVP caliber. I'm sorry. Those are the rules. Like, you have to pick a quarterback. It's the most important position in sports. That's like the rule in MVP vote.
I would have no problem giving Jonathan Taylor MVP. None. Zero. I wouldn't have had a problem giving Saquon MVP last year. No problem. You're a quarterback elitist. I am one of the people.
Let's move on to Washington and Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels stuff is a little disappointing. Last week, obviously didn't play. Dan Quinn, however, confirmed that his rehab has gone well, and they expect Daniels to return to practice today. Now they have an extra day with the game against Seattle. Oh no, they don't have an extra day. It's Sunday night. My bad. I thought it was Monday. So Seattle, Washington, Sunday night.
I like Washington.
Yeah, Daniels has missed 3 starts this season. He hasn't been the amazing rookie quarterback we saw, Colin. You definitely like Washington here? Is it the number? Are you betting the number, or is it?
Well, I saw 3.5 yesterday on the site. At 3.5, I love the Commanders. It's my favorite underdog pick of the week, the Commanders. Those Sunday night, Monday night games, if you get good quarterback play, you're at home, the crowd's lubricated, it's a little louder, it's a long flight for Seattle. Seattle's been a good road team, though, but if it's 3.5, it's one of my favorite bets of the week, Commanders.
Be careful here. Road team off a bye. The good teams coming off byes this season have looked good off the bye. The bad teams, there's no hope for them. Be careful here, my friend. I'm trying to help you out. I don't want you to come here to LA next week all broken, penniless. J-Mac, can you pick up a tab? It's not happening. Final story. NBA, Colin. Look at us wedging some NBA into it. And your guy, Jonathan Kuminga. I mean, you mentioned him in every trade possible over the last 6 months, and now he's starting for the Warriors. And you know what? He's playing good defense. He looks like kind of Harrison Barnes-ish with some athleticism. Steve Kerr has recognized the growth and development of Jonathan Kuminga.
He's been fantastic, and last time put him on Ja. Tonight we'll put him on James Harden. I think he's ready to take on that role. He's really putting a lot of pressure on people. So the biggest thing is the combination of Jimmy and Draymond and JK wasn't great last year, but because of all the improvements that JK has made, his passing and the stuff I just mentioned, it's really clicking, and so we're going to stay with that.
Here's the thing. He couldn't shoot a three last year. This year he's on fire. Now it's early. And you lose your legs. They're asking him to do big defensive assignments. That is a lot on the other end. So again, over the course of the season, he's not going to shoot 44% from threes. You just get worn down. You lose your legs. You lose your arc. But last year, the one thing about, I've watched him twice this year, much better three-point shooter. The other thing is, he's still super young. Is he like 23 years old or 24 years old?
Very young.
He is, very rarely is a guy walk into the NBA and they're a good passer. LeBron was rare. LeBron had an IQ of a 10-year vet. Most young guys come in, they don't have a great outside shot. Ray Allen didn't shoot threes in college like he did in Boston and with the Miami. He was an athletic guy that could shoot a little. Kuminga's passing and shooting, which take time in the gym and feel, are much better. No question. So much better feel offensive.
Listen, your off-season NFL picks have been fired. Your off-season NBA takes, you had the Warriors, I believe, missing the playoffs, and the Mavericks, I think, in the NBA Finals. Yeah, we'll give you a mulligan. You got some time left. The Warriors look pretty damn good, Colin. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, old team. Yeah, they don't need as much seasoning.
What?
Okay, old team looks good.
What are you laughing about?
In the NBA season.
Done.
Old team will get banged up more. Old team.
Thank you for watching. Later we will put it in the Ziploc
bag. Look at all the remnants.
You joined this.
Dallas has all sorts of movement. It's not a shock the Warriors look good early. That's not a knock on them, but they were going to play good. They were going to play well early.
You can bet against Steph Curry at your own peril.
It looks like it's not fit.
Please. I love that.
Jay McElhinney.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line News.
You forget, Bo Nix has 61 college starts, SEC, Pac-12. He's a seasoned veteran. Kuminga, these guys, they come into the NBA at 18 or 19 years old. They come, they do a year in the G League or 1 year of college where they play 35 games. I mean, it takes,
Yes.
they can't go to the hotel bar.
Thank you for watching.
Literally, it takes these guys.
This is 1,
That's a prime example.
2,
He just turned 23.
3,
He's just
4,
figuring out
5.
play basketball, and the Warriors' offense is one of the most sophisticated in the league. Young guys have always strong. So you watch Kuminga.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
And also his feel. Draymond's always been a great passer, but Draymond spent.
I want to see the
Didn't he spend 4 years